Hi guys, today I'm going to discuss how older and more successful women have a hard time finding the right men to date. It is not surprising that accomplished older women struggle to find a man they are interested in dating. I believe this is the case because most wealthy women always choose to wed a man who is either on par with them or significantly more successful than they are in terms of social standing and financial stability. Given that hypergamy is still prevalent, it is practically impossible for these women to marry a guy who they consider to be beneath them. They call it settling down. Eventually, women just start complaining that there aren't any good guys out there, and the ones that aren't just on the same level as them. So they just focus more on their careers and keep complaining about the lack of men and not see the consequences of their own life's choices. I mean, just don't complain when the result of those choices is eating dinner alone with your pets. I believe women chose this particular lifestyle. Therefore, they must accept it or choose to treat the males they can find nicely. It's all I have to say about that. If not, or if they refuse to compromise because they can't find a man who is superior to them, they will have to suffer the repercussions. That is my position, and I don't care if anyone is offended by it because ladies have no difficulty making fun of poor guys. Therefore, if they are too successful, why should I worry if they can't find a partner to settle down with? That is their issue. This takes me to an excellent article I discovered about the reasons why successful women struggle with dating. The first thing to note is that successful women are frequently not nearly as successful in relationships. The majority of us have heard or personally encountered successful women's dating difficulties. You may be familiar with Laura, the intelligent and successful woman with a high-paying profession who is just so bad at dating and can't seem to manage to find and keep a nice partner. It turns out there are a lot of wealthy Lauras, so why is it that the higher she rises, the smaller her dating pool becomes? Let's begin with the primary and most evident cause for why women more than males exhibit a more or less noticeable propensity for hypergamy. Consequently, women prefer males who are superior to them. This is a clear issue since the more successful she becomes, the harder it will be for her to locate eligible men who are on par with her or higher. Ironically, wealthy women find it harder to find dates than typical women do. This article is accurate thus far. Women will always want the greatest male they can find because of hypergamy, but they don't realize that the more money they earn, the less men there will be who will be eligible for them. They mistakenly believe that because of the reverence, there will be a greater supply of males. This holds true for males. Because you have shown that you are valued and wealthy men don't care how much a woman makes, the more money you make, the more women will be accessible. Thus, the womanist movement has deceived women into thinking they are males, and that the same laws apply to them as well, even though this is obviously false. Women will never comprehend that men do not choose women based on their riches and success, because men and women are fundamentally different. We seek ladies who are obedient, helpful, feminine, sensual, and attractive. No boss ladies or alpha females. They will thus keep having dating problems. The fact is that the majority of them do not settle down. Let's go back to the article now. Women like males who are ahead of them. Therefore, as she goes further, there are less men around. Women believe that having a large income and attending a prestigious university will expand their opportunities, but occasionally the opposite is true. Of course, preferences are at issue here. Physical reproduction is possible with any functioning male, but for most women, dating less successful men seems like settling. That's precisely what I said, gentlemen. The fact that women feel that they're settling is what hurts them the most, and if they can't grasp the fundamentals of supply and demand, they won't be able to attract the men they desire. Then it is what it is. There aren't many males at the top, and not all of them would like a woman to be there. I find it astounding that powerful women fail to comprehend this. There will be fewer persons at each level of income as one moves up the scale. Supply and demand is as simple as that. However, the number of women accessible to a man will increase the higher up the economic ladder he climbs. So why would he marry a wealthy lady only because of her wealth? Let's go on. Female achievement is less alluring than some women believe. What kind of guys dislike powerful women? That's not it. Male success criteria for women are lower. The second, age, submissiveness, and a caring nature are just a few qualities men prize that might work against them in the quest for success. The third, men rarely regard professional accomplishment above their own level and only up to a certain extent. Men claim to admire knowledge and accomplishment, but they never let it frighten or turn them off, despite what others may think. Despite what they claim, it sometimes conflicts with what they really practice. Men actually favor women who are less wealthy than they are. Some guys also favor less educated females. According to studies, men regard women's intelligence to be unappealing over a certain point. However, he genuinely loses interest in a woman when he perceives that she is smarter than him. According to evolutionary psychologists, men who found intellectual women to be attractive in the long run nonetheless gave them low physical attractiveness ratings. Okay, gentlemen, I concur with what he says, since I myself wouldn't want to date someone with a higher income than I do. Not out of intimidation, but rather because I know she will eventually make it a point and taunt me that she earns more money than I do and won't take my authority seriously. Why then would I sign up for it knowing that I will be treated like a lesser person? That arrangement would only be accepted by a man who doesn't value himself, because I'm more likely to receive better treatment than if it were the other way around, and I may feel like a provider and a man in my own castle. I would like to date a woman who makes less money. These contemporary Western women will now consider males as inferior while physically being broke and living in a rundown apartment themselves. Furthermore, you shouldn't make this a problem, since these women will try and minimize your accomplishments despite the fact that, bearing divorce, they can never hope to catch up to you. I totally support the passport gang's decision to travel to less developed nations in search of women because of this. Instead of going where you're tolerated, go where you're wanted. Simply be sensible and refrain from marrying these women and bringing them back to your first world nation. Otherwise, you will discover just how quickly a woman can turn the tables on you. Anyway, let's go forward. Many males like women who are less domineering. Even the most successful men tend to choose more submissive women, which is why you often find tycoons with extremely low-key partners. Men favor women with lower incomes. Although time and society have changed, individuals have not, and most people secretly don't think it's acceptable for women to earn more. As evidenced by statistics, men frequently marry women who earn less than them, and women frequently marry men who earn more than them. There is no changing that fact, no matter how much we shame males for wanting successful older women. Most extremely wealthy guys prefer to date poor but stunning women who are more feminine. Let's go on. Like extremely ambitious males, men are scared of very ambitious women, but they don't give ambitious women any extra points. In fact, many people think of ambition as a manly quality. Women's ambition is likely suppressed for this reason. Women who openly express their aspirations risk being labeled as gender disruptive and losing credibility. Alpha males favor gentler females. Some alpha males prefer not to date alpha females because they fear that there will be more power struggles and less caring interactions. Men who are successful work hard. Even though men might not like to acknowledge it, they would rather return home to a kind lady who makes them feel at peace than to another corporate negotiator. Men frequently prefer more submissive women to begin with, since many powerful women become subordinate to more dominant men, but it still takes more effort for them to do so. Who among you desires to make a lady more feminine? Let's face it, if I am a strong, successful man, why would I want a bull to continually challenge me in a relationship? And when is a very ambitious lady going to have the time for me? If you truly think about why guys avoid these kinds of women, it's hardly rocket science. I don't want to always be put to the tests that women have for men. Let's go on. Men of high caliber have alternatives they can use. For business women, there's still another dating problem. The marketplaces for high-quality men and women are very different. Why? Because dating markets for men and women evolve in the opposite way as they climb the achievement ladder. Women prefer not to date, but less successful men are comfortable with it, and occasionally even prefer dating and getting married to women who are less accomplished than them. Men have also lacked their standards when it comes to casual companions, as if that weren't enough. As a result, there are severe inequities in the highest classes of society. For a guy, leverage and alternatives are everything. You need some leverage and money if you want to be able to control women. It's a simple reality that if you don't have any leverage, you won't be treated well by women. This is the reason why the guys in this field would tell you that when you have money and power, women will eventually approach you. You won't need to venture outside to pursue ladies, hunt for game, and other such things. So pursue the wealthy men if you want the finest ladies available. The finest piece of advice I can give you is that your choice of ladies will also vary when you have leveraging possibilities, particularly when it comes to being out and about in public. Women like to flaunt successful men in public, just like men like to flaunt beautiful women. So in order to understand why successful, career-driven women don't seem to get the guys they want, it's important to understand gender dynamics and how men and women naturally think. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and let me know what you think in the comments.